Hi guys, it's me, Christina. So we're going to talk about the neuromuscular junction. This one has a lot of details, so I kind of typed a little cheat sheet that I'm going to glance at and kind of read from. So let's get started. A neuromuscular junction is basically a meeting point where a nerve cell or a motor neuron sends a signal to a muscle fiber, causing it to contract and move. So it's like a tiny bridge that tells your brain to tell your muscle that it's time to do something. And it uses ACH, I think is the acronym for it, or acetylcholine to send that message. So your brain sends the ACH, correct me if I've mistaken that because I forgot to put the acronym. Your brain sends that down to the muscle saying, hey, guess what? It's time for us to move. So the neuromuscular junction allows your nervous system to communicate with your muscles, triggering the movement. But how it works is it's a nerve impulse that travels down the motor neuron to the neuromuscular junction. At the junction, the neuron releases a chemical called acetylcholine or ACH. Again, that might be incorrect with that, into a tiny gap. So the acetylcholine binds to the receptors of the muscle fiber and it causes it to contract. So something that I found online was that it's a way to think of it is like a doorbell. So the nerve impulse is like pressing the doorbell button, bing. The acetylcholine is the signal that goes through the wire, and then the muscle fiber is the door that opens when the signal arrives, which I thought was a pretty neat way to explain that. So these, the neuromuscular junction, or the NMJ, is a synaptic connection between the terminal ends of the motor nerve and the muscles, such as your skeletal, smooth, and cardiac. It is a site for the transmission of action potential from the nerve to the muscle. It is also a site for many diseases and a site of action for a lot of like pharmacology drugs when I did some more research online. So there's 7-ish steps. So the AP travels down the axon to the axon terminal. So the 7 steps are the AP travels down the axon to the axon terminal. The electrical gated calcium channel opens, and then the calcium enters that axon terminal. The calcium causes the vesicles to release the ACH or acetylcholine into the synaptic cleft, and then the ACH diffuses across the synaptic, I can't get that word out, cleft, and it binds to the receptors on the muscle. Then the ACH binding opens the ion channels and sodium rushes into the muscles. And if the muscles reach like a certain threshold at the motor end plate, an AP occurs on the muscle. And then the ACH is broken down by the acetylcholine esterase.